Okay, and we're live, I think. Welcome. Let me just check things are working. Yeah, seems okay. Alright, welcome to another stream. My name is Milo and I am your host. Let me just post about this. Okay. Yeah. Back to gameplay. Okay, so today I think it'll just be a short one, but I'm playing Tingle's Balloon Fight DS. This was a DS game card, but only released through the Club Nintendo service, as you can see on the title screen, and only in Japan. So you had to get a bunch of points by buying games. I don't know if you had to have Platinum status or not, but yeah, very limited availability. And I do not have a copy of this card, but oh wow, it's the balloon guy. That's kind of cool. That might just be on the title screen. This is just a little attract mode thing. Welcome, Gibbon. I hope other people show up, but if it's just you again, then that's fine with me. Yeah, so yeah, seeing the original balloon fight guy there is like when you unlock bubbles from Clue Clue Land in Donkey Kong King Swing for the multiplayer mode. It's like the old and the new coming together. Anyway, let's play and talk. Let's just check options first. What's my button setup? Okay. Music, arrange or original? Oh, that's interesting. Let's do original first. Why not? Tingle's kazoo. Not sure what kazoo is, but lives, balloons, gallery corner. Oops, wrong button. Aha, there we go. Oh wow, no way. So I'm selecting them on the bottom screen and showing them on the top screen. Oh, I need to unlock these. There's a bit more to this game than I thought. I thought it was pretty basic. It does have multiplayer. I wonder how many there are. Anyway. Yeah, it's got a Wi-Fi multiplayer. We won't be able to test that, obviously. Let's jump into a one-player game from the start. I was testing this out a little bit earlier. Okay, so A is to bounce upwards kind of thing, and B, you can hold it down for like a rapid fire. So I haven't actually played the original Balloon Fight, so I can't really speak to how faithful this is in terms of its gameplay and stuff, but from what I've seen, it seems like, yeah, that's pretty good. And so these little bird mask men people, they are in the original, I do know that. And NES game originally also came out in arcades. And very arcadey gameplay style. Given saying that he owns this game, he did import it from Japan. Oops! Do I get a chance to pump up my balloon? I do not. So I've lost a life. Yeah, Given imported it, but he doesn't really remember what it's like to play. It is expensive to import. I did look that up real briefly, but like I said, not a wide distribution. So those clouds that shoot lightning bolts, I think they're new in this version. I really shouldn't, yeah. I don't know. I don't have the cred. I should have played the original before talking about how this one has made any changes. Oh, there's little rupees on balloons. That's cute. This isn't even giving me points. What? They're just popping. Am I doing something wrong? Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you can pass across the screen and come out the other side. Which is a feature that made the balloon fight stage in Smash Brothers, the new one, 4. Very awkward, but there are a lot of awkward things about that game. Oh, I missed one. Darn. There we go. So bonus at the end. Yep. Tallies it up at the end. That was pointless. Wow. Chaos. Yeah, so your objective is to get rid of the bad guys by popping their balloons before they pop yours. And then, as they parachute down, you can break their parachutes, or you can hit them while they're helpless on the ground. They do have a chance to pump up more balloons, I think, while they're on the ground. And there is a fish that if either you or they go too close to the water, the fish will eat you, but it also eats them when they fall into it, like that. Oh, whoa, whoa. Relentless. Looks like the green ones are more aggressive than the pink ones, maybe? I'm not sure. I like the auto fire B button, it just flaps many times to get you up high. Okay, well, I think we've had a little taste of the music, so I'm going to change it to... Oops. No. Change it to the arranged tracks. I love that fish, says Gibbon. Ah, yeah. It looks good in this version. I like that they added it in the Ice Climbers stage and Smash the Iceberg, he says. Oh wow. This is the arranged music. I don't remember hearing this when I briefly tested this out earlier. There might be different music on the different stages, because the background has changed to a sunset kind of theme. Yeah, it's cool, that mashup in Brawl that you're talking about. These two old games, Ice Climber and Balloon Fight, that never really amounted to much, but they go well together, well enough. They also both had interesting Game & Watch releases in those series that are pretty different in terms of setting to the NES games that inspired them. I was just looking up about the Balloon Fight Game & Watch. In it, you play a sky patroller. It's not just like some guy flying across the sky for no reason. You play this like space policeman or something, trying to find the secret hideout of a pirate. And speaking of Brawl, this flipper... Oops! Nuts. Actually, the flipper might just have been in melee. I don't remember. I haven't played Smash in quite a while, actually. Flipper causes havoc with your movement if you touch it. Oops, watch out for the sparks. Oh boy. So I think these bubbles are just for extra bonus points. Nice moon in the sky though. Yeah, I will try out the balloon trip mode in a minute, given just want to see what this has to offer. See if I can get the backgrounds to cycle and maybe if there's any interesting new stage elements introduced. There's a new layout of these floating islands every time, I notice. Let's get as high as we can, that's the secret. The fish has a little jingle. Oh, oh no! So you keep the one balloon when you go to the next one. The next stage. So yeah, Tingle was a good choice for this mashup of Balloon Fight. If they had to put a new character into it, since he's often flying around in a balloon. And he's just a fun, silly character. Actually, who made this game? It didn't say at the start. Let me just check if I have it noted down. It will pause when I switch over here. Yeah, I think I found out at some point that... Oops, I'm missing these. Nah, never mind, it's just points anyway. Although I think points may give me extra lives. Yeah, I think I found out that this game was made by the same people who did the other Tingle games for DS. Freshly Picked Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land and the old title was Color Changing Tingle's Love Balloon Trip, but color changing I think is a sort of literal translation. It's sort of it means it's ripening or something. Just a bit of fluff text at the start like they do in Japanese titles sometimes. Yeah, the Love Balloon Trip one is the second title. Yes, so the creators of these Tingle games, Vanpool, I think they were also responsible for this. This came after their first Tingle game, which, as I gather, takes some inspiration from Kaeru no Tame ni... I forget the second part of the title. It's For the Frog the Bell Tolls. Or The Frog for Whom the Bell Tolls, or however you want to translate that. Another game that never left Japan. That was easy. I'd like to point out at this point that in the background of these daytime stages, and I think the sunset ones too, you can see... Oh, nuts. You can see tiny little, on the horizon there in the background, is Tingle Tower. Suzukaru, please. I'm not quitting just yet, because I'm talking about Tingle Tower. So, Tingle Tower is where Tingle lives in Wind Waker. And that's... yeah. It's getting hard. They don't seem to be pumping their balloons back up when they land. Maybe I haven't given them enough time. Yeah, so... Oh, he's changed color too. Interesting. So it's kind of like a Mario Brothers thing, as in original Mario Brothers. When the enemy pops back over after being knocked down but not eliminated, they get stronger. Or faster, at least. Yes, Tingle Tower. So that kind of is a clue about when this game kind of takes place. It's a bit harder to tell with Rosy Rupee Land, but it would suggest that this is the same Tingle from Wind Waker, and you have to sort of think about this when it comes to Zelda, because there's many different incarnations of characters and lots of points in the timeline when things could be happening. So yeah, it's in the world of Wind Waker basically. Somewhere in the Great Sea, just over the horizon, there are balloon-obsessed birdmen flying around on little islands, I'm guessing. And Tingle is fighting them for some reason. Maybe he wants the rupees in the bonus stages and that's his motivation, and they're just trying to stop him. He's often motivated by rupees. Oh, I'm neglecting chat. Did they also do the Tingle DS apps? Yes, there was also on the Japanese eShop, the DSiWare store, a sort of utility pack called the Too Much Tingle pack. And yes, they did that as well. So they did all 4 Tingle-related things on the DS, as I understand it. And they have a consistent design for Tingle between all of those, as this, yeah, kind of Well, it's not too different from the other Tingle appearances. But yeah, the Too Much Tingle pack had like a calculator and a calendar and all this stuff. And like a fortune teller thing, probably. I don't remember exactly what's in it. You can look it up on Zelda Wiki or whatever. But yeah, it was when those sort of things were just coming out on the DSi shop. And people hadn't yet realized that they were dumb and nobody really wanted them. And you can't even get the Too Much Tingle pack anymore. At least that's what I read. You would have to have a Japanese 3DS anyway to try and access it. Someone, apparently Gibbon saying, completed a fan translation of the Frog Beltol game recently. That's good to know. I do intend to play it at some point before I play, because I have also acquired a copy of Rosie Rupee Land, which did leave Japan, but it didn't actually make it to America. Tingle is sort of ironically love-hated by people, but I guess they considered him not popular enough to localize the game. But it was brought to Europe in English and other languages. And I bought myself a copy off eBay for quite a high price. Complete with manual, and I will scan the manual when I open it, but it's my Christmas present, so that'll be a little while. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Tingle is a fun dude. Ugh, I'm dying. Let's switch over to balloon trip mode, shall we? Okay, so this is like the balloon trip mode in Balloon Fight. Instead of a single screen action kind of thing, it's a auto-scrolling, just like point kind of thing. You have to try and get far, get a lot of points, and not die basically. And there's more obstacles than enemies, although I think enemies show up later. Again, I haven't played it that much, the original. I have of course played the, oh, save, interesting. How do I save? I guess it auto-saves when it's like a checkpoint. Because I noticed it switched to phase 2 when I got to that area. Yeah, I played the Balloon Trip Breeze mode in Nintendo Land, which is like this, but you swipe the touchscreen to make gusts of wind blow your balloon person around. What happened? What was that? What does that mean? I guess I got a combo and the rupees changed to blue rupees, and they're giving more points, I suppose. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, so Balloon Trip. This mode was greatly expanded on in a sequel on the Game Boy called Balloon Kid, where you play as a young girl, which is nice. And it's more of an adventure mode, and you use these same mechanics, and you do have a balloon pumping thing, so if you lose one you can land and pump up another one. Which, again, I'm not entirely sure of the origin of that, because I don't think you can do it in the original game, but I guess the enemies do it, so that's where it comes from. Oops! No! Oh, I just got to phase 4 as I died, so I hope I can continue and come back there. I can! Oh, there's a nice little podium he comes on. That's cool. Oh, what happened? I'd only just started. Why did it pause like that? Yeah, so Balloon Kid, yeah, greatly expanded on the mechanics. Why is it? I guess getting a bubble pauses it to give you a bit of space to avoid obstacles, maybe? Yeah, let's say that. Let's try it again. Confirm it. Yep, okay, that's what it does. Yeah, so Balloon Kid. Oh, very close. It's more sort of a progress thing. You're trying to get through, you know, for a purpose. The game has an end, and there's more sort of different kinds of obstacles and enemies and power-ups and things. And once again, Japan got a better deal because it was ported. Oops, didn't come out on the Game Boy, I think. Nuts. But it was ported to the Game Boy Color in Japan only. So it looks much nicer, and pretty sure it's just the same game. So eventually I'll play that, I guess. Why not? Kind of a Nintendo fan, although I don't know, they're kind of in my bad books at the moment. I don't think that they've made a very good game in a long time. But I won't go into that too much. Nuts! This is hard. Given saying that Rosie Ripper Land is actually really good. Like Wind Waker, it's got a fairly serious plot hidden behind a quirky art style and absurd script. It sure does seem absurd. I mean, Tingle is presented as more, you know, more, I don't know, more crazy than ever in that game. And his companions are a dog wearing a Tingle suit and a lady who, well, I don't know, it's just weird. It's just a weirdo game. Delightfully strange. At least that's how it presents itself. I've seen some pretty good 4-comma gag comic strips promoting the first game. They were on the Japanese official website. Although I first saw them on an Italian fan site that had archived them. Nuts. That archive actually indirectly won me a copy of the Link to the Past comic, because I used the images to make a fan comic to enter a contest. So thank you, Tingle, for your silly humor and weird expressions. Yes, what was I going to say next? I wanted to point out about this game, you've probably noticed that it's playing in a very tall window. Obviously the DS had 2 screens, one on top of each other, but depending on the game, some of them, you know, some of them display 2 different things on the different screens. Some of them have a continuous sort of playing field that both screens cover. But more commonly, I've seen games that have a continuous screen have a gap between the 2 screens. I've upgraded my rupees. Yeah, so there's a gap where basically the hinge of the DS is. So the real world gap that is between your screens is also represented in the virtual space. That's not the case in this game. As you can see, when I go up past the halfway point, he doesn't become invisible and then appear again a minute later. It's completely continuous, which makes it very friendly for emulation. Spoiler, I'm emulating this. I'm not playing it on real hardware. Because the emulator available for Mac, and I think there's Windows version too, doesn't actually support that gap. And if it did, that would actually be much more authentic and more helpful for a lot of different games. But in this case, it works out to my favor that it doesn't represent the gap. So let's talk about mashups, because this game is a mashup of the Balloon Fight gameplay formula with both Balloon Fight and Balloon Trip, with a Tingle theme over it, which is a really cool idea and a good way to revive old properties when the original theming they had back on the NES, or whatever it was, is kind of bare bones, shall we say. So there's a few other games like this that I can think of. There was an Excite Bike game on the Satellaview satellite distribution thing for the Super Nintendo, Japan only, of course, called Excite Bike Bun Bun Mario Battle Stadium, where you play as Mario series characters, sort of like Toad and Peach and stuff, Mario and Luigi, instead of just a dude in a little motorcycle helmet. So that was a cool idea, and I don't really know what it added to the Excite Bike formula itself, but you know, good for Excite Bike fans, good for Mario fans, good for fans of satellite distribution of games on Super Nintendo. Actually bad for archivists, because those things were time limited, and I don't think it had any of the wacky features that like BS Zelda had, where it would stream in live voice recordings of the characters talking to you, or like full quality music, CD quality music kind of stuff. So at least it doesn't have that to contend with if you're a games historian, archivist type of person. What else? Mashups. I mean, I'm thinking of Yoshi's Touch and Go, because that had a mode called Balloon Trip, but it was a bit different to this. It wasn't really like, it was Baby Mario in a bubble or something. He had balloons, did he? He's floating down, and you draw paths for him to land on so it doesn't hit enemies and stuff. Doesn't really count. But that's actually an example of the screen gap that I was talking about. I was going to mention a few examples. Yoshi's Island DS uses both screens, and you can swap between them on the fly if there's more stuff above you or below you, but it has the gap. DK Jungle Climber, I think, has the gap too. And most of the time it used both screens for gameplay. Sometimes there was this thing where like the screen was covered in fog and it was a map on the bottom screen, but that was very rare. Gibbon's saying something about the Satellaview here. They weren't recordings of people talking, they were live. Yes, they were live, broadcasts, like the radio basically. They would comment on who was on the lead score-wise and other stuff about what players were currently doing, in Zelda anyway. Yeah, so they actually had commentary about how different players were playing, so they were like collecting data, were they? Or my understanding was that it was sort of plot related, where Zelda would say, oh, something's going on over here, and you would go there. That's in Ancient Stone Tablets I'm thinking of. I'm not sure if BS Zelda, the first one, the sort of remake of the first one, had the voice stuff. I don't know. But he is also saying that BS Super Mario USA had pre-recorded dialogue. So that's cool. I think, oh no, that wasn't the first release in Japan of Mario 2, because they got All-Stars, of course, early on. But yeah, there was a broadcast, I'll say distribution or whatever, of Mario 2 in Japan with extra like cutscenes and stuff. So it sort of acted as a sequel to the game, but it was, in terms of gameplay, it was pretty similar to the All-Stars version. But it did have pre-recorded dialogue, he's saying, for the cutscenes, I expect. Or maybe during gameplay, they did that too in some games. Yeah, the BS system is a very unusual thing and not super well archived these days. But yeah, very interesting curiosity. Aha! Got enough to transform these into blue rupees. That ought to make Tingle happy. Now I wish I could think of more mashup things that exist to talk about. Yeah, in Balloon Kid there are a lot more land things that you could... Oh, he's got a little footstep sound. Now that's attention to detail. Yeah, there's a lot more ground that you could walk on. Mixing it up with the flying. It wasn't all flying. Yeah, mashups. I mean, there's Hyrule Warriors, that comes to mind. That's just Dynasty Warriors with Zelda on it. But they do that with a lot of franchises, and that's Koei Tecmo doing that. Tell you what, the little balloons with the rupees hanging under them, that in Balloon Trip on the NES version of this game, of Balloon Fight, they were just balloons hanging in midair. So something hanging under them is actually a concept that came from the Game & Watch game. Because as I said, you were a space patrol or sky patroller, or whatever. I don't remember what the manual story said, but it's pretty amazing. You're looking for the hideout of this pirate, lizard man, fish man, monster dude guy. His name is Oiram Repus, which, I mean, not to spoil it for you kids, but it's Super Mario backwards. So you're hunting for his secret hideout, and there's a map showing its location, but the bad guy tore it up and put it on balloons or something? I mean, it doesn't really make sense, but you're collecting these scraps of map that are tied onto balloons, and that's exactly what that reminds me of, the rupees hanging under the balloon. Given saying, if you watch a YouTube video of BS Mario USA, so named because it's America's version of Mario 2, never mind that Europe got it too, which Japan didn't get until later re-releases. And he's saying, if you watch a YouTube video of someone playing it, mugshots will pop up in the corner during play to denote who was currently speaking while the voice calls played. So, very interesting. Nuts. Too busy looking at chat. Didn't notice that spark. So yes, confirming that there was actual dialogue during gameplay, which could help to keep it interesting. I mean, ideally the game would be difficult or in some other way holding your attention, in which case the voices would just be distracting. But there's plenty of modern games where people just yammer on at you while you do something. So BS Mario USA would be years before its time. Revolutionary. Well, I'm still going. It's phase 20. I don't know what the limits are in this game. How far I can keep going, and if there is an end. I doubt there is, considering its arcade roots. Or arcade inspired, or... Yeah, I baited out the fish there on purpose. You don't want to get eaten by it. And yes, the balloons are not part of Tingle's hitbox, so they can pass through a spark without harming you. It's only when he touches it that he gets damaged. Oh, tough. Let's go under. Yeah, another balloon fight thing that was a weird kind of revival was there's a mini game in WarioWare Smooth Moves for the Wii, which has a 3D recreation of Balloon Trip mode. you originally see it as a micro game in 9-volt stage. Or I don't know if it's considered 9-volt and 18-volt stage. But yeah, the one with all the Nintendo references in the micro games. Where, yeah, you hold the Wii remote out to the side and you flap your arms to make him flap, and I think you can turn to avoid stuff. So it is in 3-dimensional space. There's quite significant fog if I remember correctly. But once you pass certain conditions, you can unlock like a full minigame mode where you can continue playing that. It's not just like a 3-second quickfire thing. You get that game engine and a full proper stage to get through and see how far you can get. So yeah, there's a balloon fight update, and it was pretty good. WarioWare is a great series. It's too bad it's dead. Next time I die, I'll switch the music over, because this is pretty good, but yeah, I'll see what it does with the original. I feel like I know the music. Oh, I don't know. It seems familiar to me. Whether it's a remix of a tune from another game, I don't think it's from the original Balloon Fight. No, but oops. All right, let's change it. I wonder if that'll start me back there. It's a good feature to have different music tracks. Yes, I can continue. Ah, there we go, see? That's what you remember. This is good music too. I believe his flapping sound effect has changed too. Oh. Yeah, I might just be thinking of, like, I might have just heard the song before, and that's why it seems familiar. Because I do have a lot of game soundtracks on my phone, and I play them a lot. I have an app actually that can just read the MIDI files and play them. Just takes up much less space than having MP3s of all the music tracks. Oh, yeah. I don't know, I'm struggling to think of any other mashups like this, and although I know some exist. Gibbon, help me out here. Oh yeah, I should talk. I'm just playing. Tingle, he's pretty cool, isn't he? Just happy to see him in Hyrule Warriors. Although, you know, the DLC characters do kind of seem like second-class citizens at times. But he's there by default. Oh, I like that jingle. He's there by default in Legends on the 3DS. Ooh. A game which has recently overtaken Picross DS for the top spot in hours played on my 3DS, what you call it, the thing that keeps track of the games you've played and how long you've played them and stuff. Activity log, thank you. Thank you, unseen background voice. A disembodied cough in the room. Yes, I think... Oh gosh, tricky. Yeah, Picross is an addiction and a passion of mine, so... It says something that Hyrule Warriors managed to overtake it, because that too is a complete addiction for me since it came out, and the release of the DLC packs have extended its life greatly to my pleasure. I was just playing the new Link Between Worlds pack just before, and that's pretty good. Yuga and Ravrio are decent characters. My favourite is still Linkle, I think, especially with the crossbows. They are incredibly powerful weapons. Given is suggesting Tetris Attack. Good one, yes. You are correct. Of course, puzzle games are very easy to paint over with another IP. So Tetris Attack was originally panelled upon a bunch of cute fairies. Fairies and flowers and stuff. So when it came to localizing it, I guess they were like, we want to market video games to little boys. They don't want fairies. They want Yoshis. So Yoshi was the hot new thing. They put Yoshi's Island theme over the whole thing, which is nothing to complain about at all, because Yoshi's Island is amazing. Yeah, my balloons can get me the collectibles, but they don't get hurt, so that's good. Of course, again, the Satellaview, the Yoshi version of panelled upon Tetris Attack. Tetris Attack was a dumb name that they used, again for marketing reasons, to make it more appealing, because Tetris was also a big craze, even though panelled upon has nothing to do with Tetris. So the Yoshi branded panelled upon was released on Satellaview as Yoshi's Panapon. Almost got eaten. And the Game Boy version, actually, of the Yoshi skin came out in Japan too. And that has a wonderful box art, not like the localized box art. Ugh. I got to 30, should I keep going? Next time I die, I'll check the gallery to see if I've unlocked any cool artworks. So yeah, panelled upon. The fairies were never seen again. Actually, that's a lie. They were seen again in, what was it, the GameCube Nintendo Puzzle Collection? Which, again, Japan only, unfortunately. It had an updated panelled upon, with a new plot and stuff. And Dr. Mario 64, which I don't think was released there until then. Strangely, a Wario Land 3 themed Dr. Mario game. And a new version of Yoshi's Cookie. But other than that, the fairies didn't show up again. And then we've had other versions like Pokemon Puzzle League, which was on 64 and was themed over with the Pokemon anime, a rare anime-based game. Whereas Pokemon Puzzle Challenge, its accompaniment on the Game Boy Color, is more themed after Gold and Silver Pokemon games. I don't think I'm forgetting any other panelled upon games, because there was another one on DS that was just nothing branded. It had no theme at all. It was bland and just sort of like touch generations. It's for casuals. Let's not scare them by putting any characters in. Given's also mentioning Tetris DS, which had a plethora of sort of 8-bit like that. It paused just when he was halfway through a turning animation, looking straight at the screen. Yeah, Tetris DS had a bunch of retro-y kind of 8-bit Nintendo sprites in different modes, which is cool. Very cool. But yeah, it's a big crossover kind of thing. Not exactly the same thing I was thinking of with a total conversion kind of thing. Now he's bringing up Doki Doki Panic. Oh, I did say I would go to gallery when I died. Let's check it out. Yes, as I've mentioned a few times, Mario 2. Of course, it was originally Doki Doki Panic. So what is this? Chinkun no Kazu. Let's turn it up and see what happens. Darn. I keep forgetting that A and B are sort of reversed in Japan kind of thing. Nice. Good. Love it. These all seem to have been done by different artists. Oh. I haven't on. Oh, I have. Wow. Amazing. Huh. That's interesting. Kind of superimposed over a real photo like that. That's cute. I didn't want to see his bare skin, to be honest. But that hair, that's the kind of hair he has in Rosie Rupee Land before he gets his costume, I think. He's so happy. Oh, he's not so happy in that one. He's more contemplative. Tingle has a deeper side, you know. and then... yeah. Oh wow. Tingle in space. Is that canon? That's beautiful. I like this. I wonder how you actually unlock these, because I only have every second one. Ah, that's back to the start. So it must be sort of every few phases you get to in the main game you unlock them. So, and like each mode must unlock different ones. So let's go back to fight mode and see if we can get some more. Oh yeah, the sound. The sound is terrible. I do not like the sound at all. Yeah, Yamato, please. Range. Let's keep going. Yeah, I'm assuming that just getting higher phases will unlock artwork for me. I wish it told me. I wonder if this came with an instruction book. Gibbon, you own this game physically. Was there an instruction book? And if so, can you have a look at it? You do speak some Japanese, or you can do some Japanesey kind of translation-y stuff. I did some translation for Gibbon recently. He had a guidebook for DK94, the Game Boy Donkey Kong game. And there was a comic that I scanlated from his scan. Check my blog for that. miloscat.tumblr.com. And that was a lot of fun to work on. And a great comic too. Very funny and strange. A guy called Kotobuki Shiriagari. Kind of a absurdist comic artist. Yeah. Yeah, Gibbon did study Japanese for 4 years, about a decade ago. That's similar to my experience as well. Although you lived there, didn't you, for a while? Not sure. Anyway, he's looking for the box now. Considering how this was released only through Club Nintendo, I do wonder about the package it came in. The box art's pretty genius. If you ever get a chance to see it, just Google it or whatever. Oh. It's sort of mimicking the original box art for Balloon Fight. But like Tingle's like taped a picture of himself over it and you can see the tape on the image. It's quite good. And he's taped his name over the title as well. It's sort of implying a laziness to the paint over mashup that they've done that is not really evident in the product because it's quite a good package that they put together here. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense it is quite basic in terms of just putting Tingle into what was already there, but I don't know, it's well done. It's nice. Yeah, I think that option on the screen, on the in the options, did just give me extra lives, which is good. I'll take it. Doesn't affect anything too much if I can continue right away, but yeah. Are those bird sounds part of the soundtrack, or are the birdmen making them? Guess one of life's unanswerable questions. So I did, it is my intention to, when I get around to playing the Tingle games for DS, to more definitively, at least in my own mind, clear up where they're supposed to take place in the Zelda timeline. I have done a fan edit of the Zelda timeline, as many people have done, although mine is very visual. Dead. Yeah, I did my own edit to add in all the stuff that has been overlooked or declared non-canon. And I'm talking the silly, crazy stuff like Soul Calibur 2, the Space World 2000 tech demo, like Link's crossbow training, Twilight Princess Picross, that one time that Link was in a Mario educational PC game, comics, the animated series, CDI games. It's all there in my timeline, baby. So yeah, sometimes it is hard to place things though, like the cartoon probably takes place after the first two games, right? But when do the Tingle games happen? And I sort of think they might happen before Wind Waker, and they sort of show the origin of how Tingle became Tingle, assuming he's the same one in Wind Waker. But yeah, that's what I want to find out. It's pretty clear that this is taking place around the time of Wind Waker, due to the presence of Tingle Tower. You never know, might be another Tingle Tower. But the simplest. You gotta go with the simplest explanation. I just noticed actually that these guys have a bit of a Mario costume going on below their bird masks anyway. They've got the gloves, the overalls, the shiny black shoes. Gibbon's back. He's been digging in his closet. What has he found? There's a giant bin in the closet where I keep the handheld game cases. There are some games still in cases here that I forget I owned. I apparently have a copy of Super Monkey Ball 3D. Nice. Wonder if that's a good one. I recently picked up Super Monkey Ball Adventure for PSP from a I don't know, a charity shop basically. It was very, very cheap, but I have no idea how good the game is. He's saying, oh no, my copy of DK Land was in here. Been looking for that for ages. That is a good game. Of course, it's the worst Donkey Kong game mechanically. Donkey Country game, anyway. You can, like, climb a rope to a higher point in the screen and then fall off and fall down, and instead of scrolling back to where you were, you die. So that's kind of an unforgivable sin of game mechanics. But still, great game. And I'm glad you found it, because now you can play it. It is on the Virtual Console, which is a good version, but it actually does benefit a lot from being played on a Super Game Boy or Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance kind of thing, with the palettes, because they give a different palette to your character than to the background, which helps them stand out more. Donkey Kong Land very notoriously had quite detailed backgrounds, and it was often difficult to distinguish your character and other elements from the background. And I'll read your next comment as soon as I can not die. Yeah, take that. Nice, that was some combo. Rosie Rupee Land says Gibbon reveals that there have been many Tingles and there will likely be more in the future. Interesting. And canonically true, because... Oh, actually, the first Tingle we see, chronologically, is... Oh wait, was he in Minish Cap? I don't recall. It's definitely in the Oracle games, which Minish Cap is in some ways a successor to. But if he's not, which I can't recall, the first time we see him in Hyrule itself, I suppose the Terminar is in Wind Waker, actually. Yeah, there's multiple Tingles. It's like a thing that a title or a role that he inherits during that game, as I understand it. Yes. Okay, so he found the Tingle's balloon fight box and manual. What was I looking for this again? Why was I looking for it? I don't know. Is there artwork in it? Is there anything that tells you how to unlock the in-game art? Is there fun pictures, or is there a story blurb or anything? I just... Well, what I'd really like is for you to scan it, but I know you had some troubles with your scanner. Killed. I had troubles with your scanner when getting that comic for me, so I won't insist on it. Nuts. And I was just curious about, given the nature of its release, how much effort they put into the manual. The other two Tingle games had pretty nice manuals, actually. Had some effort put in. He says, I can scan it for you. I'd like that, but like, don't feel you have to. I leave it up to you to judge whether it's worthwhile, since you can see the contents of it yourself. Actually, from an archivist point of view, it would actually be very valuable considering the rarity of this game. But, whatever. Oh, there is indeed art in it. Interesting. Yes, Gibbons also confirming for me Tingle's appearances. Majora's Mask, the Oracle games, Wind Waker, Four Swords Adventures. Ah yes, he has quite a role in that game. he comes in and tries to steal force gems off you and stuff, and he runs a minigame like thing. Actually, that's in Tingle Tower too, isn't it? That's the location of his minigame thing. Does it look like the Wind Waker Tingle Tower? Questions for another time. Interesting. As there is more than one Tingle, there may be more than one Tingle Tower. But considering the vast ocean that you're flying over in this game, it would suggest a Wind Waker frame of reference. And Minish Cap, of course, to round out that other list. Yes, he's in Minish Cap. I don't recall off the top of my head where and what function he has, but yeah, he's there apparently. It's been a while. I haven't played that one since it came out. I did really enjoy it though. I feel Minish Cap gets maligned, but in my eyes it's just as good as Link to the Past or anything. Ugh. Dead. What phase am I on? Let's check out the concept art. No, not concept. Well, is it concept art? I don't know. The artwork gallery after this. That fish is insatiable. I'd like to know just what's going on in this music. Him and his bros are good for kinstone fusing side quests, apparently. Phase 33, that's quite high. Let's see how many we've unlocked. Let's work our way back. I'm not seeing anything new. Nope. Oh, nuts. Look at them all. His little running legs as he goes along this gallery. That's cute. Yeah, I can't see anything new here. Why is that? Maybe you only get them in balloon trip mode. But why have I missed some? Maybe you only get them for collecting all the balloons in a phase. That might be it. I don't suppose the manual has anything to say about how you unlock the art, given. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting to the limit of what this game has to show, apart from just grinding to get more artwork pictures. I mean, it was kind of a freebie. Cash in your rewards points. Doesn't cost you anything. You don't even have to pay shipping, I think. Dang. At least you didn't with the physical rewards that I got from Club Nintendo. Japan's are always better, of course. They got some great Club Nintendo stuff. And of course, my Nintendo hasn't really proved itself any better than Club Nintendo ever was. There's certainly nothing of Tingle's balloon fight caliber to justify its existence. Although they should have just released this on the DSi shop, and that's my stance on it. Of course, a proviso for that is they would have had to release it worldwide on every DSi shop, because otherwise that's just unfair. We never got Kappa's Trail over here, you know. Or Shantae's Risky Revenge. Shantae Risky's Revenge. That's not Nintendo's fault there. I blame the classification board. It's always been expensive to get your games rated. Oof! It's easy these days though. They've improved the process so that it's now much cheaper. Gibbon says, I don't see anything immediately noticeable about unlocking art. That's a shame. Alright, well, let's call it quits then. I've been going for about an hour, so that's a pretty good stream. I do have to head off soonish. I've got Fire Warden training, so it's my day off work actually today, but I have to go in anyway to train as a Fire Warden. Well, I'm already a Fire Warden, but we have routine training things, and nobody needs to know this, so I don't know why I'm saying it. GameFAQs just says to get further in modes to unlock more art. That's very vague, but probably the best they can do. Why draw this out? I'm done. I'll just do a quick save, just in case I ever come back to this. And I will real quick just look up, because I do have a spreadsheet, of course. And I have a category for crossovers and stuff. I've made note previously. Yeah, I think I covered everything. There's not many. We mentioned Excitebike. We mentioned King of Swing earlier. That's sort of a take on Clue Land, although very, very expanded. It's really nothing like the original. Wario Blast featuring Bomberman, I've got noted here. That's just a Bomberman Game Boy game, but with Wario stuck into it. So more of a guest appearance kind of thing. Tetris Attack, yeah, and this. There weren't as many as I thought. But yeah, that's it. So I've played Tingle's Blue 5DS and somebody watched me. Thanks for watching, and goodbye, Tingle. I'll see you in the next stream. Oh, I might change, I don't know. I'm still thinking about stream, when I should do my stream and stuff, but watch my Twitter if you want to know about that. And I link that on my Twitch channel page thing, or whatever. Yeah, so check that if you want to know when I'm streaming that week. There hasn't been a lot of interest, but yeah, that's alright. The streams do go onto YouTube as well, so you can watch old ones if you care. I gotta stop being so self-deprecating. Anyway, thank you for stuff. Bye. I'm done. Yeah, we're done.